Hey folks, thanks for checking out a video on G4G. So today we've got a really serious topic to talk about over here, one that I've been diving into today. It's been on my periphery for a little bit. It's been kind of fringe, but I wasn't really paying much attention to it because I thought, oh, this has got nothing to do with me. And then I watched a video that was linked by a friend of mine on Facebook. He's a guild member in World of Warcraft, lives in the town. I've hung out with some of his roommates before, although I've never hung out with him. He posted on Facebook and linked a video, and it's pertaining to COPPA, or COPPA, COPPA. And I watched it, and I started to get more and more slack-jawed, horrified, as I was watching this lawyer talk about COPPA and YouTube, because it pertains highly to this channel, and it could be really, really serious. And if you know anything about COPPA, you might be like, I don't think it applies to you, Napalm. I don't think it applies to G4G. And I'm going to tell you where I think that's perhaps a wrong opinion, and why any of us doing gaming content could be serious trouble. And specifically, if you are a Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux fan and you are a content creator of MAAR, you might be in trouble too. And if MAA was still alive and I was doing videos and Kingfish was doing videos and other community members were doing videos, we might all have to take a rather serious look at our content and our videos. I don't know. This could be very dark, draconian days ahead. I mean, I'm old enough to remember the Tipper Gore time of American government, and I had cassettes. Yeah, I'm gonna date myself. I don't care. I'm honest about it. I had cassettes that would have parental advisory on there, and I certainly had to hide my 2 Live Crew tape. I had to hide my VHS tape that had Revenge of the Nerds on it, because Revenge of the Nerds had tits and bush in it, and now actually people look back on Revenge of the Nerds and say it had rape in it, and honestly, they have a point. The moon scene, while there was acknowledgement when the moon scene was over, and there was certainly no outcry, it's a little bit of a sticky wicket, what? But anyway, I divert from the course a little bit. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the things pertaining to COPPA. So I'm going to link 2 videos in the description here that I'm using as source material, and these 2 pictures are screen caps from one of the videos. So when you mark a video for kids, so if you are an uploader, this is more aimed at you. You will have the choice of marking it not for kids or for kids. When you mark a video for kids, it will have no notifications to the subscribers. There will be no comments. It cannot be searched. It will not be suggested or recommended. And it will make 90% less revenue. And there will also not be targeted ads over there. And here is the definition from the FTC as to subject matter that might appeal to kids. So subject matter that is appealing to kids, example, kids jokes, music, kids games, video, computer games. The fuck? Children's TV shows or stars, cartoon characters, sports, stories, toys, children's books, fantasy, children's arts and crafts, pets, products primarily purchased or consumed by kids like snack food or cereal. Presentation, language of the website, such as language that is simple enough to be understandable to a child 12 and under. So in other words, every Trump speech ever. CNN's in a lot of trouble at this point, because anything Trump says is suitable for a kid due to short and simple expressions and colorful descriptions. like that fat horse. That sounds like it could be a Dr. Seuss book, couldn't it? Me and my fat horse. Slang and pop culture phrases and kid sites might be identified by such language as kids only fun, free stuff. Free stuff? Free to play games? Hello? Whatever cool, games, ask your parents. Whether the website uses visual content appealing to children, this is where it gets super bad. Animated characters, bold or fast-moving graphics, bright or vibrant colors. Folks, Cyberpunk, when it comes out, is going to have bold and fast-moving graphics, bright and vibrant colors. Animated characters, I mean, it's not mocap, it's not real when it's on a computer. You can make a case simply because it's in a game that it's animated. What about people who do anime related videos? People in their 30s talking about the downfall of Bleach. I mean, if somebody's sitting there saying like, oh, this is where you can see Taikubo goes off the deep end over here, and look at this animation here, look at it here. I saw a video a couple weeks ago talking about One Punch Man. That's an animated character, but this is an adult. And if you think of Adult Swim on Cartoon Network, anime airs late at night on a Saturday. This is not child-friendly cartoons. By the way, this Saturday, or previous, I don't know if it's the Saturday coming up in 1 day from now, or the Saturday that occurred about 6 days from now, there is now no longer any cartoons on Saturday mornings on any networks. Are you... my childhood is screaming in pain when I think that that is an actual fact. And part of it has to do with, there's a law that says a station has to have like 3 hours of educational programming in a week. And a lot of people are like, oh, we're just going to do something educational and slap it during the cartoon hour on Saturdays because that's expendable. And if it's going to be educational, we got to give it to the people who need to be educated, aka kids. So cartoons were getting wrecked, but my childhood is just being destroyed in my head. Reboot, Freakazoid, Animaniacs, Dungeons and Dragons. God, I can't even... I mean, the Disney cartoons were a lot after school, like Gummy Bears and DuckTales and Darkwing Duck and Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. The Batman series, Spider-Man, X-Men. X-Men, the animated show, was a weekend cartoon. And that's all gone. Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends with Firestar, Boyhood Crush, and Iceman. I mean, what if I did a video that was a retrospective of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends? It's so old, if you watched it, you are definitely an adult at this point in time. But that could be appealing to kids, and even if you mark it as this is not for kids, there is a high potential that the FTC will come along and look at it and go, nope, bright, colorful, cartoony. This is going to be marketed for kids. And there you go. So one place you can educate yourself is epic.org/privacy/kids. And this is one of the big areas talking about it. The bill bans internet companies from collecting personal or location information from children under 13 without parental consent, and from teens ages 13 to 15 without the user's consent. This has been in the books for a while, but specifically they looked at YouTube because of the cookies and the way the cookies roll into ads and targeted ads, and YouTube for Kids apparently wasn't enough. And this is where that stems from. So you can see the entire conference here. I think I will link these two also over here. This is the press conference of about 47 minutes that you can watch if you are a creator. You may want to do this. This is the guy that I was linked. What YouTube's not telling you about COPPA, this guy is a social media lawyer. He deals with social media cases. He explains a lot. And this guy over here, Chadtronic, he's another one that I watched, and credit where credit is due, he's where the screenshots came from. At this point, this guy in the FTC is answering the question of, who's going to be more at stake over here? Is it going to be YouTube or the content creators? And he kind of shakes his head and says, no, it's the content creators, because they're the ones producing the content that could potentially be for kids. So what these videos will tell you is that if you run afoul of this situation, you can be fined up to $42,000. $42,000 for doing a video that somehow winds up appealing to kids, even if you checked not for kids. This is scaring a lot of people. A lot of people are concerned, and there is that grumbling like, okay, do we go to something different? Do we leave YouTube? There's a potential talk of a no upload day as a protest, which might actually be January 1st when this all goes into effect, is January 1st, 2020. The Cornering was the one who I had heard mention the no upload day, and he brings up a good point. He's like, but that hurts you too. Maybe there should be something else that day, like everybody uploads kid-friendly content or something like that. I disagree with him. I think content creators absolutely can avoid one day. Yeah, some people upload 3-4 times a day because they cover lots of topics and do news, but I don't agree with him on that one. I think everybody in protest can do it. By the way, this video here, you want to come to this one definitely, because he links to the change.org petition, and that's what I want to signal boost. I've signed it. If you are any kind of a content creator on YouTube, you definitely want to sign it. So now let's actually talk about how it might affect me or Marvel Avengers Alliance content creators. So let's just look at videos over here. This has superheroes on it. Battle Breakers, I don't think that's that colorful or bright. That's not a child appearing title. This one is not child visually, but it says first level 60 in WoW Classic. Is World of Warcraft considered child friendly? Let's be frank. There are a lot of people playing retail World of Warcraft now that were borderline children at the time in which WoW was active. Somewhere in the Burning Crusade, my guild enacted a 18 and up requirement. Mostly because in vanilla, we did have a lot of kids, but we were a lot of adults. We were a lot of college age people. We talked about adult topics. We had adult conversations. There was swearing. Towards the middle of vanilla, we wound up absorbing a guild that was staffed with people called furries. We didn't know what furries were at the time. We were quite innocent on that, and then we Googled furries, and the first picture that came up was a giraffe fucking a lion, and we went, oh my god, what did we get into? I can't imagine if some 13-year-old was in there at the time. There were a lot of people who were borderline 16, 17, 18 years old at that time. World of Warcraft very much applies to kids. Not the community is child friendly, but the game could be understood by a child. A coworker of mine who recently left, I will always remember a story of her mom running an Ultima Online shard when she was young, and there was a time in either EverQuest or World of Warcraft where the mother called the kids down for dinner, and the slightly older brother went down, and then she, being a little younger, like got ganked and killed and got called down to dinner again. She's like, yeah, I'm finally coming. And she's like, well, what happened? Why did you take so long? And she's like, well, so and so, the brother left me and I died. And the brother got punished by the mother for like leaving her alone to get killed. I have good friends in the guild today who wouldn't have met the guild requirement if we enacted it right from day one. One of my good friends was like 17 when we started in World of Warcraft. I mean, that's not the 13 to 15 range or the 13-year-old range they're talking about for COPPA, but it's close. And then, okay, don't buy Google Stadia. That's a bland picture. Google Stadia, that's purchasing. That would be safe. Legends of Runeterra, this is kind of dark. Nothing particularly childish there. Marvel Strike Force opening Hella Orbs. That's a villain. That's a comic character. That one could be something. Community appreciation. Thoughts on BlizzCon. This Redux Beta 1, maybe because Storm is there. Marvel Battle Lines closing down. That's a cat. That's a ginger cat over there. Outer Worlds, maybe not. Not that. That says WoW, but it's not particularly childish on the thumbnail. Again, heroes. Heroes, comic characters. Comic character. Comic characters. Comic characters. Comic characters. Bright and colorful Borderlands 3. These Zoe Quinn videos won't get tagged, but there's Mr. Fantastic looking all stretchy and potentially kiddish. There's another Mr. Fantastic. That's Remnant. That looks dark. That looks adult. Maybe not that. Infinity Wars. This Infinity War game that somebody is producing on their own, similar to Goofy doing Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux. That colorful, cartoony Thanos. I mean, that's a PG-13 movie. 12, 13-year-olds going with their parents. I mean, when my girlfriend and I saw Captain Marvel, we were right behind a birthday party. Like, one of the kids had, like, fucking glow LEDs in his sneakers, and every time he stamped his feet, we were like, ow, ow, glow LEDs in her face. That's the Hulk. That's kind of bright. Comic characters. I mean, who knows how any of this would get classified? I mean, there's a big swath right over here that has a whole bunch of comic characters over there. And if you just did, like, if you set your thumbnail to be your channel logo all the time, and this was my thumbnail for everything, you'd be like, wow, I don't know his videos from his videos, and it's not easy to pick them out. If I did this, but maybe had the title of the video over here, then that means I'm editing my intro every single time, which I know a lot of higher content creators do. I mean, that is definitely a thing. Or, you know, I could be one of those people, like, what is it, Heels versus Babyface in WoW, who holds up like a sign that says what the video is, like Shadowlands 8.3, or like Shadowlands in 8.3, will it save WoW? Yeah, I could do that, but this intro was saved as a file, so when I'm in Camtasia, I go to import, I pick the intro, and then I import my footage, and I put a transition between the two of them. It saves me time. Maybe I would have to go back and not save time again. Okay, this one's not kitty. These, yeah, that one maybe is not that kitty. That one is very clearly, that's comic. Even if you don't know who the people are, that certainly looks comic. That's fucking Spider-Man. Kids know Spider-Man. That's a cow. That's a bipedal cow. Who knows about that one? So there was some of this stuff could, even if I mark it as not for kids, could potentially be flagged that way. Okay, that's a hippo with a bunch of spears stuck in his side. Maybe not that one. Wow, that actually pulled 752 views. I didn't know that. Um, that's a social media video. That's when Jessica Price was terminated because she got bitchy on Twitter against customers. Um, yeah, I mean, okay, this Marvel Strike Force tier, it's hard to see the comic characters there, but that's kind of bright. That's colorful. Um, if you're a 13-year-old WoW player, you might see that and go, "Oh, that yeah, I recognize that's WoW." It's I don't know. I I think YouTube is really fucking this up. I think YouTube, as a lot of people have said, is not doing enough to protect the content creators. They're not exactly protecting the kids either. It's not think of it for the kids. It's not they're not even really doing a good job of that. They're literally protecting nobody kind of but themselves over here. They paid a fine and then they sort of olayed the door open over here. Yes, you have that check mark when you upload a video. So I'll show you this now. You're legally required to comply with the COPPA and or other laws. You are required to tell us if your videos are made for kids. Use the new upload tool. Go to the upload video beta, which my recent videos have seen this, but I haven't. Okay, I'm not seeing anything about the kids over here, but I don't even know if... Let's see, videos, okay. There's not even, like, a filter here. There's not a column over here for it. It would be nice if I could, like, check everything, Control A, and sweep my videos over here and say, why are you ineligible? Okay, that's a weird one. Um, I wish I could like Control A and sweep my videos and say not for kids, and then hopefully, but I mean, who knows what's considered colorful? And if somebody sees a comic character, even if it's in a very adult game, what's going to happen? And I really think it should be more on YouTube to get this stuff figured out, and that it should be YouTube potentially making people, when they go to YouTube for the first time on January 1st of 2020, that they get a splash screen, and that when they get that splash screen, they need to identify, are you 13 years or older? And that if they say no, then a parent has to, then it forces like a parent permission, and maybe have a CAPTCHA that only adults would particularly be good at. Way back in the day, way before CAPTCHA and everything, there used to be sort of age quizzes, like it would ask you stuff about the Beatles. If you knew about the Beatles, you were probably not 12 years old. They need to do something like that. I really think it should be way more on YouTube to define as a viewer where you stand. Log everybody out of YouTube on that day. Force people to re-log in, and then force people to look at some kind of compliance letter and check appropriate boxes. Yes, I am 13. Maybe input a birth date. I mean, Steam makes you do it. Yeah, okay, there's an actual point that I hadn't thought of over there. When you do Steam stuff, even occasionally when you're signed in, you will get prompted like Agony, right? Agony's still on Steam, so Agony unrated. I'm probably okay. Didn't do it now, but there. See, this game is marked as adult only. You were seeing this game because you've set your preferences to allow this content. It used to be that I was always prompted if I wanted to come to a store page for something like this, like what's your birth date, blah, blah, blah. Do that, YouTube. Give creators a way of flagging it, like, what is your intended age range, or what is your target audience, and that if you say, like, 4 kids or something, when somebody goes to watch a kid's video, maybe they have to click something in order to do it. Separate. I know there are YouTube gaming, or there was YouTube gaming. It's gone now. YouTube Kids, YouTube Regular, but everything exists on YouTube. Even if you're on a sub thing, you can find a YouTube Kids video on YouTube itself. But maybe draw better silos. And I mean, if you are making video for kids, like you're reviewing Nerf guns or something like that, or educational videos, you're a farmer and you're educating kids about farm life, like, I'm shearing my sheep today, I'm milking a cow, here's how we make cheese. Your revenue, I mean, there you go. Look at what's going to happen to you. No notifications for the subscribers, no comments, can't be searched, cannot be suggested or recommended, 90% less revenue. Why, if you are a wholesome person and you're making kid-friendly content, maybe you're an adult who goes out and reviews new Happy Meal toys at McDonald's. I grew up with Hess trucks at Christmas. It is a long-standing thing. My girlfriend hates it. It's a long-standing thing between my dad and I that every year when Hess truck comes out with a new Hess and everything, we get it. It's just a tradition. Call it nerdy, call it stupid, whatever you want to do, that's absolutely fine. I can take the heat on that. But if I ever, like, reviewed my Hess truck collection, I would imagine kids would go for it. It's still active today. If you have a Hess around you, a kid would definitely go for a Hess truck. It's like a fire truck, just Hess the gas company. That if I did a lot of those things, or went through any old toys that I had from when I was a kid, the Millennium Falcon, Alpha Probe, Starbird, some of my original Transformers. A good friend of mine had Optimus Prime and Omega Supreme. I had some of the Dinobots. I had Grimlock. I had a fake knockoff Transformers that was kind of like the Brontosaurus, but I had Galvatron. I had Megatron. I had Soundwave. I had the Soundwave cartridges, the Laserbeak, and the Wolf. Let's see. I definitely had Laserbeak, and I think I had Rumble, one of the ground pound guys. I don't think I had the Wolf. But, if I found those, or Matchbox cars, I still have Matchbox cars from when I was a kid. If I brought out my Matchbox collection, that's kid-friendly. What's going to happen? And that's kind of scary, that if I made my living on YouTube, that if I ran those videos, I would make 90% less revenue. The people who get by on YouTube as a job, what happens if their videos fall in this category? This is complete bullshit. This is utter bullshit that, as of right now, YouTube is basically putting it all on the creators. Supposedly they did a sweep and looked at your videos and told you which ones, potentially could get flagged as being for kids. But look, I don't have that. I'm in the beta right now. You saw me, well, no, is this classic? I think this might be the classic UI. Yeah, no, I'm on the beta. See, there's Creative Studio Classic. Okay, so I am on the beta. There's no column for child related over here. Yeah, this is, I don't know. Content creators really are going to have to take a look at things, and us in the Marvel Avengers Alliance community or Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux community, any of us in the Marvel related game community, I mean, we're all adults, like Casino and Marvel Strike Force and Cynical. I don't watch Cynical Alex's stuff in Marvel Future Fight, but I know the name. um, and I have people in my Facebook groups for Marvel Future Fight that produce their own content and everything. Okay, so my friend Twig, he's very big into the arcade one-up machines. What if he did a video as an adult highlighting his arcade one-up machines and was talking about them and the ones that arcade might one-up might have in the future, or parts that you should order, like, hey, this comes from arcade one-up this way, but you should change this marquee, change this joystick, get this roller ball. That's an arcade game. An arcade game's going to appeal to kids. What the fuck? What if where he has those arcades, it's in a man cave basement bar setting in his house, and then there's alcohol in the back on a shelf? Is he going to get popped? Is he going to get fined $42,000 because he did a video about adult arcades from an adult arcade company aimed at adults, but the FTC says, well, that's arcade machine, that's for kids, but you've got Chernobyl radioactive vodka back there. It's glowing green. I see it. I know what that is. That's alcohol from Russia, Chernobyl. It mutates rats. Ooh. This is not good. I'm not particularly fearing for it. What I'm going to do is I think I'm going to redo my intro and maybe say something in the intro like, this content is not for children, and just put it right up there in the first second of the video like that, like G for G, not for children. I don't know that it'll work. They said they're going to just go through it and examine it anyway, and everything that you say will not be the trump card there. It'll actually be the content that will be the trump card. You can check it's not for kids all you want. You could say it's not for kids. Maybe you can even verbally say it in the first second of the video. But if they see something flashy and colorful, or maybe it has Iron Man because it's Marvel Future Fight or Marvel Strike Force, then what? I don't know. MAAR video content creators definitely might be taking it up the exhaust port on this one. So who knows? I guess I will just have to proceed into the new year like I always will, do some of the things that I have in my head to potentially insulate and protect my own videos, and we'll just go from there. So I will link you to the FTC conference on it. I will link you to the description, and I will link you to the 2 YouTube sources that I referenced in this video, and we'll just see what happens from there. I mean, that one, that's Kamala Khan, that's Miss Marvel. She's rather youthful for a superhero. Maybe that's going to be considered kid-friendly, because, hey, look at that swath of yellow over there. It's bright. It's yay. She's stretchy. It's Plastic Man, except it's Kamala Khan. Yay. Kids. Ooh. Won't you just think of the kids? I don't want to. I'm not making content for kids. You know the language I use in my videos. It's not exactly kid-friendly. I'm not saying I'm Deadpool, but it's not exactly kid-friendly. So, there you go, guys. Let's see what happens with COPPA. January 1st, 2020. That's Napalm Dawn signing off. Fuck kids.